we going live? You're never sure. But hey, what's up? It's Jim, and this is Movie Crap Live. I think we are live. I'm never sure. Waiting to hear myself. YouTube takes a minute to decide if I am live. People say hi, Jim, so I'm guessing so. Big Mouth will one day be considered a golden classic? I don't know about that. Are we dying on that hill? Okay, I can see people here. Kit the Mystical for saying it first. Bloxy Oxenwinkle for liking Big Mouth for some reason. Nathaniel Foga, Paige Howard, Twisted Razor, hello. Austin Purple Goop, Jordan Powers, Sunspot Mill, Ashley Cheney. How's it going? K-Master? A guy named Crystal. Raymond Glerners. Nice to see you. I'm sorry I'm saying that. Hey, Punk Guy 95, or Alex Sinram. Toon J7, 2 and 3, Cornbreads, Zodberg, Jordan Powers. I might have said Paige Howard. Buster's right next to me down there. Deliver us, Jim. From what? From evil? To 8 to 4? What? Anyway, from evil. Oh, I will. All right. Should I guess, show my face? Sleepy Cat Productions. Sleepy Time 4 Cat Productions. Jordan Solofalo. All right, let's do Romham. How's it going? El Mono Loco, what is up? Let's do the fade there. Hey, what's up? It's me. And it is Saturday night. How's it going? Everybody, hope you can hear me okay. It sounds like you can. Thank you all for being here. I didn't do the tweet. Did I do the tweet? I don't think I did. I don't think I did the thing where I tell people we're here. Well, now I did, and now they know. And let's get a small operation we got going here. But anyway, Ransam Films here. My parents just got tested for COVID. Told them it's 99% possibly positive. Oh, well, I hope that works out. We don't know. They said that to me too, and I wasn't. So keep your head up, Ransam Film. But anyway, thank you all for being here on a Saturday night. This is the last stream of 2020 that I'm doing because I'm not going to be here next Saturday. It's the 26th. I don't think there'll be a lot of movie news to talk about, and I'm going to be chilling and all that stuff. So maybe a video out that night. I don't know. But yeah, that's the deal. This is the final stream of 2020. So you got crazy stream things to do. Tonight is the night to do that. Not as much news as last week. I'm going to put that out there. Script is half as long as last time, right, Buster? It's half as long, and I have 3 segments, so that should show you how different it is. Oh, hey, Bloxy Oxenwinkle said, "Hey Jim, happy holidays. It's time I explained the 3-day workout: split or push pull legs. 1 day is chest, shoulders, triceps, back, biceps, legs, bi-weekly." Okay, thank you. I don't understand that joke, but cheers to you. You just explained a workout. I don't know. But cheers to you, Bloxy. Thank you for the first super chat of the night. Oscars are not soon. I know you're not a big... I know you're joking. The Oscars are not soon. I was thinking of doing a stream that was just like the release calendar of 2021 because it seemed like studios were trying to be pretty strict to it. And then this week is about one studio... Warner Brothers messing it up already. So I don't think I'll be doing that. But when the Oscars happen, which I don't know when the nominations come out, March or February. So we'll do that then. But it's going to be a bit for that. I might do a separate stream at some point. I do want to get into the Streamlabs thing, so I might do a test stream on an afternoon. But I will let you all know. Anyway, and I'll let you know. I'm not 100% if the first stream of 2021 is going to be January 2nd. Or the first Saturday. I'm not 100% on that, so I'll let you know a couple days in advance, especially if it's not happening. But other than that, we should. I think it probably is, but there's like an outside chance, especially, I don't know. We'll see. I do like doing these, so yeah. I really like doing these. These are fun. I get to see everybody, get to talk about a bunch of stuff that everyone else is. I will wear a tux for the Oscar stream again. I wear a tux every Oscars because otherwise it would just be a stupid award show and I wouldn't be wearing a tux. And like, what's that life like? You know what I mean? It's just like I would look like an idiot just sitting there not wearing a tux for a stupid thing. Anyway, let's see what's been going on this week. Been putting out videos. Nothing too major. Sophie and I everybody, sorry, the whole family watched the newer Miracle on 34th Street, which is really bad. I don't think I like Miracle on 34th Street, either of them. The old one, it's just like I think It's a Wonderful Life and like those are better. It's just like I've never been a fan of it, and I think every couple of years I'm like, why don't I watch that? And then I go, oh yeah, because this is like a court case movie. Like, let's argue if Santa Claus is real. And it's like, this movie is for like really studious 8-year-olds. It's like that's what that movie's for. Anyway, I don't like that. Why doesn't Buster get a tux? First off, St. Powers, thank you for the super chat. Cheers to you. Buster, you want to be on camera? Come here, guy. Come here. Let's hold on. Don't freak out. Let's see what you look like before you freak out and scratch my face on a stream. Oh, okay. We couldn't see you. Say hi. He's wearing a tux. Look at him. Aren't you wearing a tux? He's like, this is my fur. What are you talking about? He's a good boy. You know what? 2020 is the year of you and me, man. We've hung out so much more this year. I'm cleaning your fur. We've had a good 2020, huh? You and me. We're the ones who made 2020 happen. You're the best part, man. All right. For real, Buster's great. I hope I really like that. Anyway. Oh, hey, Skinny Zach Films is here. All right. Thank you for informing that I am both studious and underage. I like it. Yes, we didn't like that. It snowed. I learned, and this is crazy. To start off the show, does everyone know that I tweeted it? But just so everyone informed, I found this out. There are no more snow days as kids. There are no more snow days. Now it's all remote learning days. So like Sophie had to do a remote learning thing, and then they're like, then go play out in the snow. But it was like, well, that sucks. Like kids don't have snow days anymore because of remote learning. Like that's what they said on the news. Like, oh kids, it's a remote learning day. It's not a snow day. They don't do snow days anymore. Anyway. Ransom Femme says, do math with your old video. You're 13 years older than me. Did math with your old video? Oh, okay. That makes sense. So you're 13 years younger than me, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, cheers to you, Ransom Film. Austin says, do you feel cheated from your Zombieland review? Willikers felt cheated. Austin, cheers to you. You should check out my review by Baltimore Zombieland, a Zombieland Baltimore Adventure. I only did 2 Baltimore Adventures, that and for Jackass 3D, which is a little topical for tonight, I guess. But yeah, I did those with my friend Kool-Aid, and we make a video out of our adventure trying to see a movie. They're sort of like my version of, because Cool Duder and what's his name? Sean C. Phillips, who's from the same town I'm from. They actually made those videos, and so I was like, I'll do my own spin on it. I've never met him and know very little about him actually, but those were my versions of those, I guess. If you even know who that is, I don't think he's popular in this. Anyway, Alex or Punk Guy 95 says, I forgot to say happy holidays when we talked. Oh. It's okay. I don't think I did either, so it's both of our faults. But happy holidays to you, Alex, and thank you for the super chat. Cheers to you. All right, did I miss stuff when Buster and I were talking? I was a little worried about that. Sorry, Austin. It's the 1 year and 1 day anniversary of Cats being released. That's amazing. But yeah, if you want to see the Zombieland Baltimore Adventure, I'll post it. I think it's posted in the Ask Jim Discord section, which I guess is, let's go into that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, oh, hold on. Another super chat. Will, thank you very much. Got back from seeing Wild Mountain Time. That's not time. That's THYME, which is, I don't know why I specified that. Anyway, and wow, what an experience! Bonkers that it's John Patrick Schlanley's third movie following Doubt. Really, I didn't know that. I heard, I heard about that. I've heard about the movie from different people. It's that's an interesting one because I've heard when I first heard about it, it was from someone. It wasn't from a movie site. So people are talking about that. Anyway, cheers to you. Thank you very much, Will. And Ransom Film says, "Are you excited for the movie review vote review?" I guess you mean Party Monster. I'm doing Love Exposure first. It's been a long time. I actually downloaded it to several devices so I could watch it in episode chunks. Which William Ellman, who picked it, I have spoilers, I guess, for that. But I'm doing that first, and then I'll do Party Monster. But I am working hard on Love Exposure. I would like to finish that before the end of 2020. Cheers to you. And Zane Power says, "Will you risk your life to see Monster Hunter?" No, I will not do that. I will not. I probably will not see Monster Hunter. I don't have any real interest, and if I've seen a Resident Evil, I don't remember any of them, so I would be a bad review of that. But cheers to you. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Okay. But yeah, I will get to Party Monster. I'm a little worried that because of Christmas and everything, I will not get either of the review votes done. I will shoot Love Exposure the same day I shoot the next movie review vote. I think that's a real chance, but we'll see about all that. Anyway, let's really get into the show. First off, if you would like to support me and everything I do and help me to continue to make videos, especially during these crazy ass times of 2020 and the incoming onslaught of 2021, then please do so either through the super chat during the show or through the Patreon, which is linked below. The Patreon has all sorts of stuff like postcards, Skype calls, exclusive content, including the vote totals for the movie review vote. I have a video about that. Who won it? Basically, you get which I guess I just spoiled. Whatever. The commentary series, all sorts of cool stuff like that. It's a good Patreon. I'm proud of it. But everything I do is supported. Everything I do is supported by viewers like you, and I'm very thankful for you for doing so. So thank you very much. If you are financially able to do so. If not, it's fine to just like it, subscribe, or just if you just like watching and being silent about it, that's cool too. Thank you for being here. I very much appreciate it. Ransom Film, Paul T. Anderson, Paul W.S. Anderson. I remember I think The Master came out the same month as a Paul W.S. Anderson thing, and people would compare them. But let's be real. I'm P.T. Anderson. Obviously, I don't want to even joke really because I don't know Paul W.S. Anderson enough to even make a joke. I know he's the schlocky auteur or whatever. But cheers to you, Ransom Film. Also, the Discord. It has lots of great. The Discord is great. Austin and Zane Powers. Austin, and Zane Powers. Just to be clear, do a great job running the Discord. They have all sorts of different channels, including General, where I actually ask people for questions about what to cover on this show. I release the segments early. I'll ask questions like, hey, how does this? Are you guys feeling that? I'll actually put my throwback video, which I post in the community tab on YouTube, but also there. I try to interact with people. But if you like the people in the chat, or if you just watch the people in the chat later and or hear me refer to them and I'd like to hang out with those people, you can anytime you want. I mean, not in a weird way. And you could chat with them. There's also the Ask Jim channel. If you've ever wanted to ask me something, or just suddenly think of something and it's not during the stream, just ask me. I try to get to everything. I think I'm pretty up to date. There might be a few questions in there. There's the suggestions channel. There's a Lost Film File channel. There's all sorts of stuff. It's great in the novelty chat. If you're bored over the holidays, go to the link, join the Discord. It's a great server. They do a great job. There we fucking go. You watched the Star Wars Holiday Special. Oh, that was going to be my throwback video this week, so that works out. And I guess you know what it's going to be, so when I do it, you can be like, he said that in the stream. Adrian, I it's been a long day. Adrian said, would Monster Hunter be better than Creech? No, nothing's better than Creech. Anyway, but cheers to you, Adrian Dizendahl. Sorry, I'm not good. Cheers to you. Thank you. Sorry. All right, let's get into the stuff because we spent a lot of time. Oh, you respect my work ethic. Thank you. Let's get into this. So, some leftover things from the Disney investor call, literally two things, and we will never speak of it again because holy crap. A couple people brought up that there are what projects that were announced will not happen. People are sort of guessing, particularly the one Lucasfilm thing that was an original property, was based on a book. They're saying certain ones, we'll see. But the other thing is there seems to be some confusion over Zootopia Plus. Some people say Zootopia Plus is a show that features all the minor characters. Other people say Zootopia Plus is if Zootopia had a streaming service and it's like takes on TV shows with Zootopia people in it, which sounds interesting. I'm not sure which it is, and it's confusing and from reputable sites, so who knows. Oh man, Buster, you got your fur all over my face, and now I'm gonna be picking at it. Everyone, this is why I'm gross. He asked, better with Creech. I'm sorry, Zane Powers. Cheers to you. Everything would be better with Creech. I'm sorry, Adrian. I apologize. Everything would be better with Creech. I'm sorry about that. That was lame. Cheers to you. Yeah, it would be better with Creech. It's also better than it. Creech is better than it too, but he's too good for it, is what I'm saying. He's too good for it, but it would be better with him. Cheers to you. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of Red Bull. I'm confused about the Pharrell thing. I'm confused about Zootopia Plus. But Lion King 2, apparently I didn't miss somehow that Pharrell Williams and Hans Zimmer will be doing the music for the Lion King 2. Whatever the fuck it is, that actually sounds kind of interesting. A couple people wanted to mention the Swiss Family Robinson reboot. They're doing one. When they do it, I'll actually review the old one because I watched it a lot as a kid. I do not remember it at all. Nathaniel Foga asks, how's Creech going to celebrate the end of the year? Riding out into the sunset, baby. Shooting off fireworks and drinking brews. That's what he's going to be doing. Cheers to you, Nathaniel Foga. So, in probably, when did my dad leave for Sigs and come back? Or why did my dad leave for Sigs and come back? Okay. I mean, I guess because he wanted a place to smoke his cigarettes. I hope. I don't know. Anyway, cheers to you. All right. I believe we talked about Legendary last week. I'm sorry. Anyway, Skate Jam. Tony Hawk revealed that there was a Skate Jam movie in development. It was in development around the time of right before Looney Tunes Back in Action's release. Because of the failure of that film, they chose not to go in that direction. It was interesting him going on about it, and he actually even talked about how he was almost on Sesame Street, and that got fumbled because he hurt himself, and he didn't get to go on Sesame Street. There was this whole segment planned. That I also found interesting. But it was interesting. It was like him, they really pitched it. They actually pitched him in a restaurant in an airport because he couldn't do it because he needed to go on a flight for this other, like, dumb movie. I think it was like Double Deckers or something. Anyway, he did that, but he it sounded like it was really going to happen, and then it fell apart when Back in Action bombed. This is not so. One of the things I find odd about this Skate Jam thing is and the whole development of a Space Jam sequel is like Michael Jordan stayed involved so they could like keep developing it, or like certain people could work, but apparently like it seems to me like a Space Jam sequel should have happened in the 90s or 99 or 2000, and by the time you're talking in 2003 it feels like there's too much time. So it's like I don't know why Warner Brothers didn't do that. And then like why they waited so long, and I know they had other ones in development like Spy Jam with Jackie Chan, which is the one I actually thought would have been the coolest of all the jams they were considering, and then Race Jam with Jeff Gordon they were also considering. I think I talked about them in my Looney Tunes Back in Action review, which came out a month or so ago. You should check that out. Ransam Film says my mom loves Foghorn Leghorn. That's funny. Well, I said. That's my. There you go. Cheers to you, Ransam Film. It's cool learning about this because I couldn't find anything about Skate Jam when I did Back in Action or when I reviewed that. It's a shame. I think Back in Action is a cool movie, and I wish they'd still made them, but I thought they should have been doing these Jam franchise films earlier. I think they sort of waited too long. But to me, the Tony Hawk one sounds cool. It sounds interesting. It was based on apparently when they did that picture that's in the thumbnail for this video. That was when they did that, they sort of like came up with the idea that they should do something. I wish they had. I think he would have been a better choice than our Race Jam with Jeff Gordon. Sounds pretty bad. I think Spy Jam with Jackie Chan to me is like, that sounds like such a cool project. Can you imagine him? I think that would work extremely well. I think that would have been amazing. So I really wish they had done Spy Jam, but it was cool learning about Skate Jam and learning about how Tony Hawk was almost on Sesame Street and didn't get to. Kind of like, seems like his two regrets were Skate Jam and Sesame Street. Although Sesame Street should call him. I feel like we can right that wrong, right? Can someone please call Sesame Street to get Tony Hawk in there? I feel like how he could still do that, right? I feel like he could. Anyway, I mean, it's like Jackie Chan is a cartoon. Like, he could totally do. I feel like I almost am like, they should have still done it. Like, he was still a pretty big movie star after Back in Action. Anyway, so I was gonna talk about the Long Gone Gulch trailer, but I saw like the show, so I was like, I don't even remember the trailer, to be honest with you, because I saw it. Oh, here we go. Will said R.I.P. to Joe Dante's career. Back in Action needs more love, though. That is true, Will. That is true, and it's sad that Joe Dante's career is over. Cheers to you. Thank you very much, Will. Yeah, so I saw Long Gone Gulch with the fam, or the Pizza Party podcast. We all got to watch it with Zach and Tara. I cannot say anything really other than I think it's really great. Zane Power says Looney Tunes with an e-sporter, call it Game Jam. Oh my god. That's great. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Yes, so I saw Long Gone Gulch this past week. I can't really talk about it other than I think it's really great. I think it is a great Western cartoon. It's probably the best Western, pilot I've seen in like forever. I know it's coming out in January. All I can say is I highly recommend it. I think it is probably the best online cartoon I've seen in a long time. I think they absolutely killed it. Zach and Tara are very talented. I'm excited for that to come out. I think people are going to be very pleasantly surprised. It's not something we've all been behind just because Zach and Tara are cool people. It's also because it is a great show. So I really check it out when it comes out. Yes, as Nathaniel Fogus said, the hype is real. Yeah, but anyway, I don't remember the trailer because the trailer came out and then I got to see it. So that's the long and short of it. But I really, just to be nice, I will just say I think they did a really great job. It is a really fun, enthusiastic, kinetic, beautiful cartoon. They really did a great job. They should be very proud of themselves. So that's something to look forward to in 2021 when that thing premieres, because y'all are not ready. I'm going to say that right now. Yeah, that's all I'll say. But, from someone who's seen it. I don't think I'd do a review because I sort of am like, like them so much. I don't want to just put out this like uber glowing thing, but I will say I very much support it. So, all right. HBO Max. This is probably the only thing that'll be a bunch of stuff. First off, it sealed its deal with Roku. Before we heard, they sealed like I think on the 16th it was available for Roku on the 17th, which is insanely fast. Usually, you hear these deals are signed and it like happens in 2 days. They were like, nope, it's gonna happen on the 17th, which was Thursday. That it was on. We set it up. It is insanely glitchy. It doesn't move as well as on the site. One particular option with Sesame Street, when you click on Sesame Street, it takes you to episode 1 from 1960, whenever. And it's like, that's cool that you have that on there. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. I want to show my daughter just like the latest Sesame Street, and I have to like scroll through like 50 seasons to get there, and then your app crashes and I have to restart it again. So that is a problem. It is more glitchy before you sign in, and it doesn't make you sign in automatically, so you think it's just going to work. That's a problem. But when you get something to play, the quality looks actually really good. Yeah, it looks really good. So in my mind, it's worth it kind of for that. And we have a super chat from Ransom Film, which says, what is one movie or type of movie you would not review if it wins the vote or a vote? If that was the case, I wouldn't let it be in the vote. So I don't know. I would be case dependent, maybe something I've done before. I don't know, something like that. Well, if it's something I've done before, I do say no. But I would tell the person if they submit, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not really going to do that. Could you pick something else? I don't really have I've already done Rent, so I wouldn't do Rent again. Maybe like porn or something. I really wouldn't do a lot of those kind of, I don't know. It would depend, but I don't think I have a specific one. But cheers to you, Ransom Film. But it's crazy to me this deal happened. It doesn't work the best, but I'm glad it's finally there. I know Kevin from the Roundtable was saying they should feature like Infinity Train on the main page where they, the feature thing. HBO Max has never worked like Netflix basically. And so this whole idea of like the subcategories, they don't feature Ghibli stuff. They don't feature Looney Tunes really, other than like the first week. They're really not good at doing that. And that's something they do need to change. And I've seen people complain about that. Also, Infinity Train is not like a new show currently. It was a bunch of months ago, so they're not going to do that anyway. But one of the things about when this deal went through is previously we heard it was an advertising thing and like they didn't want to give a percentage. Now they're saying, well, the reason was Roku likes selling HBO subscriptions through their service, which didn't make sense because that app is gone. So I don't know what the deal was. I would love to read a book, because it seems like big major publications were telling me 7 to 8 different things on why this Roku HBO deal didn't work out. I have no clue at this point, because I remember reading the last thing. I was like, where is this nonsense coming from? You didn't mention this months ago. Was this really it? Because that doesn't make sense. They just canceled that a couple months ago, so they're not making... It's just like one of those things where you're like, I'm just frustrated why this didn't work out. I think it was just like the advertising thing. Because it's like the screensavers on for streaming things like Apple TV or stuff, those actually make a lot of money. So I think that's probably what they didn't want to do, but we'll see. Oh, another super chat from Ramson Film says, why is Nostalgia Critics to Boldly 3 over 3 hours long? I have actually never seen it. Oh, we're going on to the second Red Bull already. This is crazy. I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I don't think he's good at cutting down his ego at all, so that's probably why. Cheers to you, Ransom Film. But it is on Roku. I do expect those subscription numbers to go up because it was the talk of Roku's really pushing it like crazy. Wonder Woman 1984 is getting much more of the talk over Soul. I'm sure Soul, I have a feeling Soul will probably be the better movie. But I've heard more and more people talk about, like, we're going to watch Wonder Woman 1984 on Christmas. I know a lot of people are going to be doing that. So I think, like, that's going to win for Warner. You're going to see HBO Max really peaking a lot more than you were previously. Okay. I don't know if I might turn down. I'm sort of stepping away from the I need to put my charger in, the nostalgia critic beat, to be honest with you. But we'll see. If someone did suggest it, which I feel like now is inevitable, maybe, but I kind of we'll see. It's harder to do the longer ones. I've thought about saying no, but I never do. Okay, there we go. Should always have your charger plugged in when when you're streaming usually. All right. So the other thing with HBO and Warner Media or whatever is they did actually change their release schedule, which I thought was actually kind of interesting because almost everyone, I think I even retweeted people saying like they're the only one who can say they have a locked slate, and then a week later they decided, okay, well it's not that locked because we just changed it, which is bizarre because you wouldn't think they would need to, but they chose to. So here is the changed slate, and it feels to me like they are definitely moving away from early January. So Mortal Kombat, which was going to open on January 15th, 2021, which has seen no advertising, like I haven't seen any advertising for this Mortal Kombat movie, so that makes total sense, is now will open on April 16th, 2021. There's only 3 movies, so this isn't one of those dump release changes. Tom and Jerry, well now it's moved up, was previously on March 5th, is now going to be on February 6th, 2021, right? Yeah, it's going to debut on February 26th on HBO Max and theaters, but currently the way New York's looking, I guess HBO Max for me. And then Reminiscence, which I don't know as much about, has been removed from the studio's calendar, which was a shock. There's a little controversy about that. I'm very surprised by this because it's like if you're basically just doing the HBO Max thing, I just don't think it matters. Like, who gives a shit? Like, you just like threw a bomb in the theater industry and you clearly like move things around to appease it. So I don't know what's going on in that consideration. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I am excited to watch Tom and Jerry. I have sort of feelings about that. I know it's Christopher Nolan in-laws basically was involved in Reminiscence. I'm not sure the whole deal with that. But it is interesting them moving it, and it makes me think also Disney's slate is not as locked as they wanted. It puts a lot of things in question. This is actually more of an important news story. You know, sometimes I'll say this is something you should pay attention to. This is one of those things. I think it shows you that this idea that Hollywood really wanted this front before we went into the end of the year, like I think we're going to stay on these things and stuff. The fact that someone did this before the end of the year shows me that is just an image. It is not an actuality. So expect to see more things move. I think the only ones that aren't moving is like Raya and the Last Dragon because they set that up. Unless you hear big news things and like you see trailers and things like that. Other than that, everything can move. That is still fucking happening. Theaters are considering slashing prices so low that Warner's basically gets next to nothing in their split because they're very upset. I know there's a lot of lawsuits threatened. Legendary has not actually sued anyone. They've just like said they're gonna, which is bullshit. Like sue someone, like shit or get off the pot, because there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, we're gonna sue somebody," and then they don't. So it's like, actually do something. I don't get it. Like all that happened is Timothy Chalamet wore a hoodie for Legendary on SNL. Like, oh wow, the triumph. But it's just like, come on. I don't like when people go like, we're gonna sue them. And it's like, well, you know, we want to take off for Christmas. You know, it's like, do you care about the theatrical experience or not? I don't get it. But yeah. So theaters are considering slashing their prices for Warner Brothers movies. Ridiculous. Hope everything's okay. Oh well. Okay, sounds like it's okay. Anyway, so theaters are considering doing that. We'll see what happens with everything like that. Anyway, sorry, I always have an itchy nose on stream. All right, I don't know what's gonna happen with the Warner thing. It shall be interesting. So, the SNL parrot, that is true. That was a funny ad. So the Tom Cruise COVID yelling thing, the audio that was released by the son of Tom Cruise yelling at people who did the who were breaking COVID rules. Again, I have talked about this on Twitter, but I will say I'm not. I don't agree with like yelling at people. We don't know the full context on either side. To be perfectly honest, we don't know if like this was just he was having a bad day. We don't know if like they had done this countless times. The one thing that I didn't notice a lot of people didn't bring up, but he says in his rant, like I don't care about your politics. That seemed to me like a very specific minded thing, because to me when you see that, when you hear that, you're like, wait a minute, like were they like trying to say we shouldn't have to wear masks? Were they trying to be political? Were they, anti-maskers? And he was like, we're trying to fight this thing. Zane Powers asks, is slashing prices not going to hurt theaters more? It wouldn't, because they don't make a ton off tickets. They make money off concessions, so it actually would help them in a way, because they could just make it like, so they get pretty much what they're going to get anyway, and so forth. But theaters don't make much off ticket prices, unfortunately. If you like a theater a lot, buy a soda every time, because that's supporting them more than just going, unfortunately. Unfortunately. But cheers to you, St. Powers. Thank you for the super chat. But the Tom Cruise thing, we don't know the full context. My thing about it is this: if you work for a company and everyone's trying to fight for their jobs and keep things going, and it's a struggle and it's scary and everyone's freaked out, I think the thing with it to me is that I look at it more of like, it's so hard to get everyone aligned sometimes and on the same page and get, especially with the COVID stuff. And I get his frustration, because when you deal with people and they're not following it and you're like, just like, please, dear God. And the thing he said about they're the gold standard, it's not a lot of people were like, oh, he has such an ego. When they started, they sort of were, that's why Malcolm and Marie, or whatever that one with Zendaya and John David Washington, released how they did COVID scheduling. Like these productions are really trying to sell like, hey, insurance companies, insure Hollywood productions. I know he was at the forefront of that. He was seeing Tenet in theaters. He was doing that. So it's not like, again, like that is like recorded. I'm not trying to be on his side, but I do think it's like, for people not wearing masks, it's frustrating. It's scary right now. And I don't really mind flipping out on someone. I think, to be honest, I am a little more like, I'm sort of hearing him out, because everything I've heard about him on productions is he's a really nice guy actually, and never does things like that and feels out of character. And I just don't think it's a Christian Bale thing. I think there's like probably more nuance to it. If people are quitting, I can't relate to that. I can't relate to quitting your job during COVID. Like think about that. It's like an economic, like we're in a fucking depression right now, and these people have enough money to quit their jobs. I don't feel bad for them. I'm sorry. Like I know he's a millionaire, but if you like things are crazy right now and you can just quit your job like that, there's not another movie coming up. Like no one's going to take that much sympathy on you right now. To me, it doesn't like that doesn't, like, when I heard that, I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm not saying he should get away with that, but the fact that like what you were able to quit a movie right now, like, bro, do you know what's going on? Like, nobody has work. Like, you're anyway. Good night, Ransom Film. Thank you for being here. That's all. I think there's more to it, but I think follow COVID rules. I find it frustrating when people don't. I know people are saying, oh, he put it out to make himself look good and like all the Scientology stuff. I don't know about that. I just am like, I've had to deal with so many people in the subway in real life who don't follow COVID rules, and I haven't lost my patience. And so I think for a lot of us, it feels more like a sensation that we wanted to do that. And I think, when he's staying up all night, like calling people, like, I'm sure other productions, like, this isn't a joke, by the way. I really do think other productions called him. He might have overdid it with that, but I from what I had read, other productions were calling him. So there's a lot he said that was backed up. So I think there's something more going on there. But it sounds like, look, this is a crazy time. People lose their patience. That's all. I would like to know more context to me. I feel like any opinion is a little suspect because what if it comes out, like, again, what if it comes out those people are anti-maskers? What if it comes out he was yelling at people, he was stressed out, he's not sure what's going on, you know, something like that. Like, either it's like, or there's both, or it's a completely different context, you know. It was interesting having him come out and find out he's dating Haley Atwell. It seemed like somebody went, how do we minimize this? So, who's he dating? I guess I don't know. That doesn't make me feel good for her. It's like, that's how you're doing that. I don't know. You know, I'm just saying. I if it was me, I wouldn't have lost my cool. But again, I don't know the context. That's the thing when people, like, even the Christian Bale thing. Like, what if that guy had been like fucking with him all day, and he lost his cool? And then, like, if you're on set, you're like, I don't know, I'm glad Christian did that. You know, I don't know. But to me, his is more of an ego thing. Tom Cruise's thing is, like, regulations, and it is scary, and it is worrying, and anyway. We don't know what happened, but I was more like, hey, health and safety is important, you know? And a lot of directors came out who said, I don't like yelling on set, but there's times you have to be like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to fire you, you know? So, I don't know. Anyway. We don't know is the main thing with this. I don't think it reflected well on him. And I know people, I like his movies. I don't like him as a person, but I don't have to like him as a person. I just have to like his movies. So, or not like them. I don't know. Anyway, where's Paul Blart? So Lizzie McGuire, let's get into it. Hilary Duff posted an Instagram post, I think, basically saying that the Lizzie McGuire reboot is not going forward at Disney Plus, which I think we probably could have guessed by now, but she made it official this week. What I've heard of the Lizzie McGuire reboot, I'm not entirely sure what the plan was with it was a great one, because I think, like, her being in her 30s with kids, being married, that is a perfect adaptation of Lizzie McGuire in my mind, by the way. I totally 100% think that could have worked. But there was going to be this whole thing where she's having an affair with Gordo, I think. To me, like, that soap opera melodrama thing she was going to have going throughout it, just as, like, I know people have affairs. I'm not trying to be innocent or something. But just to me, it's like, you had a great premise. Like, just cut out, like, I'm not saying, like, she has to, like, have sex with her husband every episode. But it's like, just don't do that automatically. Just didn't. I felt like if it had just been, Lizzie McGuire and she's in her 30s, I thought that would have worked. I just feel like I was never really into the Gordo thing. So I'm a little not as into the idea that they had from what I've read. I haven't read the script. Maybe they did it in a great way. But just, it seems like there's a lot of potential there. I think, though, if they're really worried about that, why did it go into production? I'm a little curious about the behind the scenes thing, because it's like, it seems to me like if you pitch a show, like how I'm looking at it is like you pitched it and then I go, okay, well, don't do the Gordo thing. You know what I mean? But if you're shooting the show that you pitched that has that, whose fault is it at that point? You know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah, I did. Jordan Sloffel, that's probably right. It did feel like younger, but with Lizzie McGuire, you're right. All right. So let's get into the National Film Registry, because I think this is what a lot of people want me to talk about, and it's interesting. So Shrek is now in the National Film Registry. What is the National Film Registry? It is run by the Library of Congress, and any film put in the National Registry is restored basically for all time. It is kept so it can be preserved forever. It's more for film preservation. They do put a lot of bigger films in there to draw attention to the National Film Registry, basically. And Shrek, I guess, was the biggest title. It actually isn't. There's a bunch of other titles that are quite big as well, but they usually put, like, important, interesting films in there. I think Nintendo had the exchange that, like, I'd never heard of this thing until Shrek got in it, and I was like, I actually literally wait for this list every year, because they always put an interesting movie in there that I'm like, yes, that got picked. So I'm actually going to go through the list. There are 25 films picked and talk about some of the more interesting ones. But the bigger ones that you probably care more about are Shrek, obviously, which will now be preserved for all time. I don't know if it's the first DreamWorks one. They usually put, I know there's animation in there, but that's pretty cool that Shrek's in there. They also have The Hurt Locker, and The Dark Knight, as well as The Blues Brothers. And one that did not get mentioned as much in the headlines was Grease. Grease got in here. I feel like nobody talked about Grease. It was like, is Grease not cool anymore? I don't like Grease actually that much, but I was a little surprised we didn't hear Grease as much. The other ones, A Clockwork Orange was a bigger one, as well as Sweetback's Badass Song, Wattstack. This is a great concert movie. The Joy Luck Club, Buena Vista Social Club, Freedom Riders, which is the newest one from 2010, not that new. Other ones that are of note, Lilies of the Field from 1963, The Man with the Golden Arm, which is a great Frank Sinatra performance when he's addicted to heroin. And I was a fan of Shrek before it got to the National Film Registry. I mean, Cornbread, first off, don't talk to me about Shrek. You don't know donkey about Shrek. So, and kind of a bigger one after I made a stupid joke, is Outrage, which is actually directed by Ida Lupino. She was one of the few female directors in classic Hollywood. She's one of the few female directors to actually direct a film noir during the film noir period. But Outrage is a film about rape, actually, from a female director. It's actually really good. I used to not like it actually that much, and I don't know what my fucking deal was, but Outrage is a really great film. And they always pick, so there's every year they pick one that is kind of more of a cinephile-y pick that you don't hear about much. Like, I remember when Wild Boys of the Road, which is a big favorite of mine, got in there. I was like so happy. And Outrage, I think that's where the Ida Lupino, I think The Hitchhiker should be in there also, if it's not already. Cabin in the Sky, and from the early silent film, we have Suspense, A Kid Auto Races at Venice, Bread, The Battle of the Century. Those are all worthy things. I think I got everything. I don't know what The Ground 1993 to 2001 is, but that sounds interesting. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm glad these films got in there. It's a good way. If you haven't seen one of these, I recommend you do so. But I'm glad they're being restored in the Library of Congress, at least until, America falls apart or something. Anyway, so the proud family producers, those being Bruce W. Smith and Ralph Farquhar, Farquhar, I think, I'm not sure, have signed an overall deal with Disney for Disney Plus. Jim quote of the night: Lizzie McGuire, let's get into it. Well, if you watch some of those Cletuses, you get it. Anyway, cheers to you, Sinram. Oh, I didn't. Well, let me finish this. But basically, they've signed an overall deal that includes live action and animation. I'm curious what's Bruce W. Smith be responsible for also Hair Love. I'm assuming because everyone else attached that as signing bigger deals, they wanted to sign at least him. We'll see what their other projects are going to be. There was nothing announced with this other than the Proud Family revival, which we already knew about. But it's good they're signing overall deals. It feels like they do want people to make original content. They just don't want to announce it ever. Okay. I wanted to show you. Hold on. What shirt I'm wearing? It is my. I'm gonna have to stand up awkwardly. My regular show Christmas shirt. Proud of this one. I don't think there's a lot of them. I think it was just a short run there. I wanted to show it off. I realized I didn't wear it that much this year. I was like, I got it out with the Christmas stuff. I didn't wear it as much as I should. Anyway. So, Jackass 4. Jackass 4 apparently has filmed 1 week before the pandemic hit, and then everyone got hurt, and then they haven't shot anything more. Sounds like Jackass 4 is still going to happen, but they haven't started shooting again since then. Interesting trivia about Jackass 3D. The 3D version is actually lost media. It has never been released since its theatrical release, and barely shown since its theatrical release. So, although you can find Jackass 3, Jackass 3D itself is actually sort of lost media. It's like very hard to find. I've thought about actually making a Lost Film File about it. Maybe I should. So now let's move on to trailers and stuff, where I talk about trailers and stuff. That's just kind of like dates and things to go, this is a thing. This is the trailers and stuff segment. Like, yeah. Anyway, so first is No Man Land trailer. It's not like it's an indie film trailer, so it's not gonna blow your mind. But anyway, sorry. It didn't blow my mind. It looked cool. I'm excited to see No Man Land, which complicates doing a top 10 because everyone's like, this is like this big movie of the year, and I want to see it, and I don't think I can until like February or something. Whatever. But I am excited to see that. I need to see The Rider before that. Palmer, which is the new film with starring Justin Timberlake that's going to be on Apple Plus, where he's like a guy who escaped from jail and he's taking care of like a non-binary kid. The thing with this movie, and I think this every time I see a drama with Justin Timberlake, why is this guy not in musicals? Like, I don't understand. Like, you try to make Justin Timberlake a movie star, and he doesn't sing and dance and stuff. Like, what's the point? Like, I don't want to see him in dramas if he's not being like an over-the-top character or singing. Like, did you guys not see Mickey Mouse Club? Like, let's stop like him being like this serious dramatic actor. Does anyone like him in anything where he's like super serious? You like him in Social Network? You like him in music videos? Like, what was that? Out of Time? Just cut it out. Just like, who are we kidding? Oh, Twisted Razor, thank you for being here. Have a Merry Christmas. It's just like, I'm sick of him trying to do that. Just let Mark Ruffalo do that. You're not Mark Ruffalo, and you never will be. So there's a Walker Texas Ranger reboot called Walker, starring Jordan Padalecki, Supernatural Gilmore Girls guy, and it looks hilarious. It looks like a joke. It looks like a joke to me. I don't think it's real. I'm still like, is this real life? Do we really just get a Walker thing? Did that really just happen? That there's a Walker Texas Ranger reboot? I just don't. It's happening, and I watched the trailer, and I'm still like, what the fuck? Night Stalker: The Hunt for a Serial Killer is the documentary about the serial killer whose name I totally forgot. But it's a serial killer in LA who's fairly notorious. It looks like a good documentary. We haven't heard as many documentaries about that one specifically, so I understand why Netflix would want to do that. I've heard that some mixed things about the director, but some people are hopeful. We have a super chat from Nattenbach64. How's it going? Said, hey Jim, I saw that there was a community theater version of Hoodwinked on YouTube yesterday. That's weird. I don't. Cheers to you for confusing me. Cheers to you. Look, in Trolls doesn't count because I wouldn't call what any of those trolls are doing singing. No, I mean, I don't know. Okay, I guess like Trolls. I want him to in an actual musical. Like Trolls isn't a musical. It is, but I don't like it, so it doesn't count. If I don't like it, it doesn't count. That's the rules now. Nothing I don't like counts. Take that, New Mutants. I don't know. Disenchantment Season 3. I did not even know Season 2 came out. I'm going to be honest with you. The trailer looked better than I thought it would. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I feel like Disenchantment, there's a lot of hype going in, but then I didn't hear as much. Ryan told me it's pretty good. I should try to stick with it. Maybe I will. Probably not, but I'll at least think I am going to. Alright. The Lost Chord, the next Gorillaz single. I will get to your super chat, Daniel Vasquez, right after this. The next Gorillaz music video comes out on Christmas Eve. I will review that whenever the next Movie Crap Live is, but it'll come out on Christmas Eve, the music video. We have a super chat from Daniel Vasquez. Hello, sorry that New Mutants let you down. I thought the film was okay, mostly due to them adding LGBTQ characters, and I appreciate that. I did like that. I mentioned that in review. I thought it was appropriate for those characters as well. So that was the part I actually thought worked, despite the fact that they had to reference Willow and Tara from Buffy directly before, because the Buffy references, wow. But I did like the spoilers. Danny Moonstar Rain Sinclair thing. I thought was cool. I agree with you, Daniel Vasquez. Cheers to you. Thank you for the super chat. Okay. All right, where are we? Oh, Sponge on the Run. I could not find a date on Sponge on the Run coming out other than it's coming out in February 2021. Should I have reviewed it by now? Probably. and I didn't, and I sort of regret that. So maybe I'll just do it in January because whatever, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Who knows? But it's coming out on Paramount Plus February 2021. Earth to Ned, which is a show I probably should have watched by now, is going to have more episodes on January 1st on Disney Plus. Dinosaurs, the great Jim Henson show, will be on Disney Plus on January 29th. That is cool news. I'm excited to rewatch that. Actually, I might watch that with Sophie. I'm curious how well that aged. I've heard it talks a lot about environmentalism and obviously the finale and all those things. I watched it a lot as a kid. So I'm that I probably will check out. Coming to America 2. This is the last part of trailers things. The pictures came out. It looks like what I thought it would look like. I don't know. It looked fine. I was like, okay, it looks good so far. I don't know. It was originally supposed to come out at the end of the year. They decided, Amazon Prime at least decided to put it out in March. Probably a bad strategy because I don't think they have a big Christmas title unlike HBO Max and Disney Plus. I'm sure Netflix has something because they're Netflix. So yeah. Anyway, all right. So moving on to other. Oh, I have to cut that because I didn't read it. Okay. So there's going to be a Pam and Tommy Lee show for Hulu. It is going to be. It's about sort of their sex tape. I don't think it has a name, does it? Does it have a name? It's on board to play. Do we have a name? Doesn't look like we do. Oh, working title Pam and Tommy. Okay, so it doesn't have a name. So I know for some reason every story that ever happened in the 90s needs a movie, documentary, YouTube video, or something about it. Of course, you've come to this because that was a big deal at the time. They cast Lily James as Pamela Anderson and Sebastian Stan as Tommy Lee. I do not really get that casting because they don't look really like those people. I'm assuming a lot of makeup and stuff is going to have to happen. I'm not trying to be offensive, but I don't know if you looked at either of them, but I'm on both sides. They need stuff done makeup wise. That's all I'm going to say. Toon J says Trolls or Strange Magic. I will say Strange Magic. Cheers to you, Toon J723. That was a little tough. Also, the man who found the tape and distributed it will be played by Seth Rogen. What is interesting about this project, other than it's sort of weird casting, and you're like, I don't know, maybe I'll watch that. Here's the interesting, and thanks to Jeff Snyder on the Snyder Cut podcast. He's a weird guy, but he tells the truth. He is a well-researched reporter. This show originally was going to be directed by James Franco and starring James Franco as Tommy Lee. It was announced a long time ago, and I actually remembered it. He brings up that James Franco was asked to leave the project after he was, canceled and all that stuff, but that Dave Franco, who never produces things, is listed as a producer, that Seth Rogen's still involved, that a lot of people who are close or were close to James Franco are involved. I've heard a couple other reporters wonder if James Franco is tangentially involved or other people are credited so he can be loosely involved in scripting or something like that. We have nothing to confirm that, but the fact that, again, that actual reporters have mentioned this makes me think that something's up there. Maybe he did a draft or something like that, but originally, a long time ago, this was supposed to be James Franco. I actually think he would have been a better Tommy Lee, to be honest with you. But I don't. So apparently, the Pamela Anderson casting, I've heard a couple sources bring up that they were looking at models. They're looking at people who look more like Pamela Anderson, but they wanted someone who is an actor first, not this mid '90s very sexy Pamela Anderson thing. So I think in terms of acting, I still don't know. I think like Margot Robbie maybe, but this is going to be an interesting one. I'm curious because it seems like I'm either curious between this is going to be awful or like what this is and the production sounds interesting. But apparently this was originally going to be his next big thing after The Disaster Artist. Like after he wrapped up the awards thing was going to be the thing he was going to do. So if he was not canceled, we would have already seen this. Who would have been Pamela Anderson? I don't know. Maybe talk about that in the chat. Guess who it would be? Even in the comments if you're watching it later. I'm a little curious. Who would have been Pamela Anderson if this had happened in 2018? 2 years ago. Don't say Lily James. Anyway. Alright. So Gal Gadot talked about the Joss Whedon thing. And it's interesting how she puts it. And it seems like I'm also curious, like, has Sarah Michelle Gellar said anything? It seems like what happened at Buffy? Like, we don't seem to be talking about him that much. But a lot of people wanted me to talk about this, but I actually found it sort of fascinating. So she sent an interview to promote Wonder Woman 1984. I wasn't there with the guys when they shot with Joss. And they said, you know, he somehow shot Gal Gadot separately, but she said, I've seen the film twice and it seems like a bizarre claim. Okay. She says that her time with Whedon wasn't the best one, but that she's also more or less unaware of what went down between Whedon and Ray Fisher since she did not observe it firsthand. She says that she took it to higher ups when she had problems with them, and that they took care of it, suggesting whatever conflict she had with Whedon was resolved to her satisfaction. She also says that she supports Ray Fisher speaking out regarding the mistreatment he suffered during the production of Justice League. It sounds like most of the people who worked on this film did not like how Joss Whedon treated them and took it up with... It seems like the bigger stars complained about him, and I'm interested to know what went down with him. And that I know the Nevers, his show that he left, was... There's a clip of it in the an HBO Max trailer, which he basically directed. He just left post-production wise. I'm very curious what the fallout, because it feels like there is a article or a big coming out thing for him that there's clearly a lot of shit on him, and I am curious about, like, Buffy, for example. I'm curious about everything with that, and I'm not sure what's going down. To me, it's like, if I was him, he would either go away or do his small, like, Shakespeare thing again. Remember when he did that? I think he's sort of done at this point, if you ask me. Skydance Animation, which, oh yeah, Borat did ruin Pamela Anderson's marriage, supposedly, which is crazy. Then we found that out. Skydance Animation, who are both best known for the animation company that John Lasseter runs now, which that's a choice, is going to try to sell 2 films, Luck and Spellbound, to Apple. I'm assuming someone, and it's interesting, Apple, because they do have a past with John Lasseter, wants to sort of work with him. I'm curious about this and how it's going to go down, particularly because it seemed like Apple was really in bed with Cartoon Saloon, and it's weird that they're going to go down with Skydance Animation. I think that is sort of a weird choice. To me, I would just, like, leave that entirely. I wouldn't deal with that kind of thing. It just doesn't seem to play well to me. I don't know. Anyway, Seth MacFarlane is making a reboot of Revenge of the Nerds. This at 20th Century Studios, not actually at Universal, where I know he's a bigger deal, which is surprising. With the Lucas brothers, who are involved in what are they involved in? They're involved in something that I can't. It's like Judas and the Black Messiah, I think it's called. But that they are with Jeff Canoe. No, sorry. They are considering working on a Revenge of the Nerds reboot. I know there was a previous one that actually got shut down, which I heard was more because the college, like, it was in the early 2000s. There was a Revenge of the Nerds reboot that was shooting and got shut down, apparently because the college shut it down, but I've heard also that it was really bad. They didn't think it was worth it. I'm really curious about that. Supposedly this Revenge of the Nerds thing will be more updated. I don't get, like, Hollywood's had this obsession with doing something with Revenge of the Nerds for a long time. I do not get the thing with it. I just don't think it's that good of a franchise. I know the first one has a lot of things that people do not like, and I'm assuming they're trying to right those wrongs. But, like, just, like, let's not, I don't, and the Lucas brothers, I don't think they're, like, almost too cool. And that's the other thing, is, like, Revenge of the Nerds, like, the nerds rule everything now. So, like, why, what do they need to revenge against? I just don't think it, unless you have a really good take, I just think it's a dumb idea. And there are a bunch of Revenge of the Nerds. I don't get it. Chris Pine has signed on to the Dungeons and Dragons movie. It sounds like this is moving along. We'll see more about that. It seems like it is actually happening, and I think we're in a time where people would like that. Sony is exiting Crackle and selling their stake to Chicken Soup, the Chicken Soup for the Soul company, or Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. Sounds like Crackle, Sony is leaving that. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear Sony is launching a streaming service. It seems ridiculous to me that they have not at this point. It seems like that's just where the industry is going, unless they just plan to sell things, which we previously heard, but I think we'll see. We're running out of topics. Are we? Yes, we are. Coming towards the end. Kid Cosmic. Oh, hold on. Revenge of the Nerds 4. Why? What are you doing here? Too many. Nerds have had too much revenge. Cheers to you, St. Bowers. Thank you for the super chat. Craig McCracken has a show. It's called Kid Cosmic. He says it is still happening. The start of production was delayed by COVID. He said, or I'll read his tweet. Yes, Kid Cosmic is still happening, and right at the start of production, delayed by COVID. Plus, unlike most shows that premiere while still in production, Netflix will be releasing the entire season at once, so we had to finish them all first. And he said, and he has a picture of it on his tweet and all that stuff. So it sounds like Kid Cosmic is still happening. There will still be a new Craig McCracken show on Netflix. And finally, this is the final thing before Oscar. I'm going to do, okay, this is the last news story. I'm going to do Oscar stuff. A thing on Mando, just to go over the Mandalorian a little bit. And then Obits, and then take a break. Mamoru Hosada has a new movie coming out called Belle. It will be out next summer, at least in Japan. It's interesting. It's called literally The Princess of Dragons and Freckles. Yeah, it will open in Japan next year. It's the 10th anniversary of his studio, but he has a new film coming out, at least in Japan next year. Hopefully America gets it in the fall or the year after. And replace nerds with gamers. You know what, Ernest Dahl? That's a good one. I like that. Anyway, that was a Critics reference. Damn it. I'm not good at references. Let me do it. Revenge of the Nerds 4. What are you doing here? Is that how he said it? I feel like it is. Alright, so Oscar stuff. So the Oscar campaign is weird, and I read some Oscar stuff, and I'm just going to do quick things. I'm not going to go through everything unless there's a major shakeup. The big things this week is the New York Film Critics Circle or whatever said First Cow was the best film of the year. That seems to restart First Cow. It's directed by a director I really like. Kelly Reichardt, sorry, who I really like a lot actually, and I need to see First Cow. I've been meaning to. This gives me more reason to. We have a super chat that says, Nattenbach says, I think Sony could buy Starz from Lionsgate. Actually, yeah, Starz has 1 million movies. Why is that? Does anyone watch that channel? It's so weird. Anyway, cheers to you, Nattenbach64. So other than that, the other Oscar things are Mank, which it seems like the cinephiles and the critics have outwardly rejected. People keep saying it didn't even make Netflix top 10. I'm like, yeah, because that's not a marketing thing. But there has been a lot of speculation over Mank recently and how well it's actually doing for them. It doesn't seem like it's actually probably the only person who could really get a nomination, feels like right now, is Amanda Seyfried. The other thing, and this is interesting if it happens, Chadwick Boseman is actually getting support for both of his roles, for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and for Da 5 Bloods, meaning he would be nominated in Best Supporting and Best Lead. If he were to do that, if he got nominated for both, he'd be the first person nominated posthumously for 2 roles in the same year. I believe James Dean was nominated twice posthumously, but Chadwick Boseman would be nominated twice posthumously in 1 year, if he's able to do that. And apparently they are sort of pushing both, so it is right now a possibility. We'll see, because basically the Oscar year goes until I think the end of February, so we'll see how that all works. But that's actually kind of interesting to me that we're really actually been talking about like he might get 2 nominations, which is insane. I don't think he'll get both. It seems like there's a lot more support for him with Da 5 Bloods right now, because that's supporting, and that category is a little more wide open. and it seems like Del Rey Lindo, his co-star in The Five Bloods, is more of the favorite for Best Actor. But we'll see about that. But that'd be really cool if he gets 2 nominations posthumously. I think that'd be really nice. So, his family would get the Oscar, Kit the Mystical. I guess they would figure out who would come up and collect it, much like they did with Heath Ledger. All right, so I'm going to do Obits, and then I'll talk about Mandalorian. But kind of appropriately, Jeremy Bulloch, who played Boba Fett in the original trilogy, died this past week, which is sad. I think he really embodied that character. Is probably why he's so cool and can continue to be such an obsession for so many people, as well as jazz musician Charlie Pride. Both died this past week. So, I'm going to talk about The Mandalorian. I'm just going to post in the chat. If you don't want to hear me spoil anything, I'm just going to talk about it. If you don't want to hear any spoilers or anything, just tune it out. I'll put in the chat Mando segment, and that means it's starting. And then when I say end of Mando segment, I'll just write it so it's there. Mando segment. You know, you can listen again. So, if you don't want to hear this, mute it and just watch the chat. And when it says the thing, you know I'm shutting the fuck. And then I'm going to take a break, and then we'll do the rest of the show. All right. So, I will admit first off that I probably should have done episode reviews. I kind of didn't want to, and now I regret that. So maybe I'll do a review of season 2. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when I would put it out because of other things I have planned. So we'll see about that. But I really like this final episode. Obviously, not everyone talking. I'm kind of not doing the big spoiler till later. So if you are running to mute it or something, I'll turn down the volume and turn the jazz up. But I'm a little not sure of the future of the show, because it's like, do I really want to watch them have, Mandalorian political conflicts over a stupid Darksaber when I really came into the show to watch, Lone Wolf and Cub? Like, that's what I was in here for, and now you're changing the whole fucking show, and people are like, no, isn't that interesting? I'm like, I don't want that. Why would I fucking want that? Like, I don't understand. Why would you want that? I don't want that. So if anyone, I'm very unsure about that. The Boba Fett thing is interesting because they just announced 1 million shows last week, and suddenly they're like, oh yeah, we got another one. So that show actually seems interesting, like what happens to Jabba in the criminal underworld post Return of the Jedi interests me, actually, and that seems like a cool way to do it, particularly with those 2 characters. Would I watch that whole show? Yes. Do I want to see him just being a diplomat? No. I did hear when they said McClunky Zane Powers. I did laugh. Did you hear when they said McClunky? Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Thank you for the super chat. But those are the 2. The big surprise, and again, mute this if you don't want it spoiled. And also, I want to say, anyone who put the spoiler in their thumbnail, I saw a couple people do that. I saw a couple people reference it, like on Friday, Saturday morning. Like, come on. If you're not making a joke, at least, you're not being creative, it's just to sell your dumb review, you're not an interesting critic to me. So I did unfollow a couple people. I'm not going to name them, but I did unfollow people on Twitter. I unsubscribed to people because I was like, you know what, I don't need that. There are probably people I would have done something with, but we can just not do that. I just thought it was annoying. I know people really got mad at them, and I don't agree necessarily with like getting that upset, but I still am like, if you're going to do that, we're done. That's my view on it. Anyway, so when Luke shows up, I wasn't entirely surprised because the whole time I was like, what's he doing? Like, he's definitely aware of this, right? And it was, I think, a cool thing to do. I like that the fighting style actually looked like Luke. That was kind of one of my issues with Darth Vader showing up, because Darth Vader didn't move like David Prowse. This guy moved like Luke. It clearly wasn't Luke doing all those things. I thought that was really cool. I liked the fighting when he showed up. My main thing is, like, why is Star Wars so bad at doing the CGI de-aging face? Like, they're remarkably bad at that. It's like Marvel is excellent at it, and it's like, You're on Disney Plus. You have more money than anything. I know people are like, "Oh, it's a TV show, not a movie." All this stuff. It's like, guys, Rogue One, the CGI face was awful. Like, it looked okay in Rise of Skywalker, but can we please stop it? Like, can we can we please do a good job, a better job? Just feels like you should know how to do that, or call the Marvel people to do it or something. But my main big surprise, like, I didn't know R2 was going to show up. I didn't even think of that. So that actually did surprise me. But it was a nice fitting ending to it. To me, I think one of the problems with Star Wars and continuity in terms of filmmaking shows now is that um, they keep going past the point. And what I mean by that is, like, I think Mandalorian should have ended at this point. I think that should have been the end of the show, and they should have moved on and stuff like, and maybe given us a few years and then bring him back and let the other Star Wars shows happen. It's sort of like Finn in Force Awakens. Like, I sort of would have liked him to have died at the end of Force Awakens, and they didn't prove me wrong because they never gave him a point in the other ones. So I do feel like that's sort of an issue with the show. I'm like not really that excited for season 3. I'm still probably gonna watch a few of them, but we'll see. I think it was a great season. I really liked it, and I thought like it was just an amazing moment of TV. It was a really well done battle. It was cool seeing how they did the Luke reveal. I thought they did an excellent job with it, and I hope is the next season might be. I was hoping if the next season was about Boba, I sort of like that idea actually, Austin. But we'll see. But I just think it was kind of one of the more bigger Star Wars moments I didn't expect to get, and I thought it was kind of cool. I would like an animated show, by the way, about what happens at the Jedi Temple with Kylo Ren and Baby Yoda and all that stuff. I think that would be cool because I don't want a weird CGI face for a whole show. So, oh, the horse, Jesus. Anyway, end of Mando segment. Mano segment. Oh man, I'm not good at smelling, whatever. All right, what about Salacious Crumb and Max Rebo? I hope they show up. I would be fine with them showing up in. Yeah, what happened with them? Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Thank you for the super shot. All right, so I'm going to, when I get back, I'm doing a review of Angels with Filthy Souls, the film in Home Alone. Snow Day, another short from Jim Simon, and the Scooby-Doo Haunted Holidays, I think it's called. Mando, the Hand's Fate. Nice. I'm just going to go to the bathroom very quickly, and then when I get back, we will talk about those things. So sit tight. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you all in a second. Anyway, I will be right back after these messages. I will be right back. strange magic. Oh, fuck. Ow. Okay. Alright. We camouflaged with the background, did I? Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway. Is this magic? Alright, anyway, let's do this. So I'm doing these segments, and then I'll try to do a bunch of questions. And yeah, gym language. Sorry. All right. So I've wanted to sort of do this for a little bit because it's sort of. Actually, let me drink some water first. Hello, I'm Al Nick. How's it going? What I wanted to say about all the segments this time is the only one that'll actually has a real release plan. Currently is Angels of Filthy Souls. The other two, Snow Day, will probably come out next time it's snowing. If that's Christmas, it is not coming out on Christmas. It'll come out after that if it snows. And then the Scooby one, I'm sort of just doing because I watched today and I thought, why not? And that might come out like next Christmas season. So I might edit it actually this year and release it early on Patreon, I think is the plan. So you might see that one like a year early on Patreon. And it's, I think, what I'm going to do. And then you get it into like right after Thanksgiving or something. So that's kind of the plan. So if you're wondering, I do have plans for all these, but that's the deal right now. It's snowing on Sunday. Is that true? Well, I have something. I'll actually have Emmett Otter and the Jug Band. Emmett Otter's Jugman Christmas or whatever, that is going to come out tomorrow, actually. Because if you didn't know, I do a Jim Henson Christmas special every year. So it's Emmett Otter's turn this year, and that review's done, and it's coming out on Sunday. And there'll be reviews Sunday. There'll be videos Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then that's it. And I'm not sure what's going on Saturday. We'll see about that. Anyway. All right. Sorry about that. We did 4 years ago. What, have snow on? Snow. Yeah, we'll see when this. Anyway. So let's get to Angels with Filthy Souls. So Angels with Filthy Souls, if you didn't know, is the film. All right. Yeah. So anyway, now I'm gonna hold on. Ugh, my nose is bugging me. It always like bugs me during the stream, and I look gross, and I'm sorry. Anyway, and then Buster. Anyway. Can we get a video of you putting a hole in the wash tub? I don't have a wash tub. What is it, 1840? All right. So, I'm going to talk about Angels with Filthy Souls. So, Angels with Filthy Souls, if you didn't know, is the film that Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin, watches during Home Alone that he isn't allowed to watch, but Uncle Frank and all the other kids are watching in the other room, and he's not allowed to watch it, so that when he is home alone, he does watch it. And when I was a kid, I thought it was a real movie, because I was a kid, I didn't know nothing about movies, and then I looked up and found out it wasn't a real movie. That is not an experience only I have. Seth Rogen had that and actually tweeted it and started kind of an avalanche of people saying, my entire childhood, I thought the old-timey movie that Kevin watches in Home Alone, Angels with Filthy Souls, was actually an old movie. Chris Evans did as well. Also Macaulay Culkin, which I think he knew by the second one, but he says he didn't know either. So what's the deal with this short? And it's fascinated me too. Basically, it was mainly done with the cinematographer of Home Alone, Julio Macat, who actually recently did a Hollywood Reporter interview on this, which I didn't know until I researched this. So I guess it worked out. Perfect time. So basically, they wanted to do a homage to old gangster films, specifically one that this is named after, Angels with Dirty Faces. I'm a big James Cagney fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Angels with Dirty Faces. It's fine. It's like late 30s. I prefer like Roaring 20s, which is a great movie. Anyway, but he's Macat. I think it's called Julio Macat. I think that's Macat. He explains he didn't really watch gangster movies that much, but he knew the feel of a classic gangster film, which I think is accurate. I think you can tell that from this. So they basically got Chicago theater actors. This was shot in Chicago. Ralph Foodie. Oh, I wanted to. Sorry, there is one thing I wanted to do. Hold on. Angels with Filthy Souls script. I'm gonna do a read through also later. But this is gonna be like my new Doug Gacino. But they used two theater actors. Ralph Foodie played Johnny, the guy doing the shooting, and Michael Guido plays Snakes, the guy who got shot. They got two well-trained Chicago theater actors who they knew would be game for it. They basically shot it a day before the production began. Some sources say this was shot at a little library in Lincoln Park, Chicago. Others say it was shot in that big gym where they made kind of a studio production of Home Alone. It was actually shot on black and white film, which I actually found was interesting. One of the other things that was kind of where do I have this? Hold on. Is it up here? Okay, sorry. So apparently when they're so Home Alone is actually, and most of Julio Maquette's films, like the Home Alone, even Miracle on 34th Street, which I just watched, he liked to do this lighting that was like old Hollywood lighting. Like Home Alone sort of is shot not like a 90s movie, and that was an artistic choice, which I didn't actually know until researching this. And he used old carbon arc lighting system that was popular in the 40s through the 1960s with Technicolor films. So he actually lit this sort of like an old Hollywood movie, basically. And that was the whole theory behind it. And since he was already lighting Home Alone in this like interesting different way, he used that lighting for this, which I also found fascinating. And he got older black and white films, and he really liked it as sort of an exercise, and they just shot it in one day before the movie started so that Macaulay Culkin could watch that while he was acting. Apparently, so interesting facts about this. Apparently it was playing on a TV in Detective Pikachu. I don't really, maybe I remember that. I barely remember Detective Pikachu, but apparently it happens. As well as in the original script, Marv and Harry actually watch it in prison with a bunch of other fellow inmates and start laughing. I know Marv, or is it Harry? One of them comments that it sounds familiar, and everyone if you read about this, is like, he definitely had seen it before, which I'm like, yeah, I mean, probably. It sounds like it was a pretty big movie. So Julio Maquette actually liked doing this so much when they made the sequel, he asked them to put Angels with Even Filthier Souls in. I'm not really going to talk about that as much, but it is interesting. He really liked making it. Sounds like a fun cinematography exercise he got to do to like get really, creatively inspired before he shoots this movie, which I think is kind of cool. Sorry. But it is interesting that when they do pull the gag on the second time, when they do the gag in the second movie, it's not with the same people. They choose different people, which is smart when you think about it, because in the original script, it's like they do realize, what it is eventually. So, I think that I wish they had kept that in or shot it, but apparently they didn't. The DVD has like a full version. You can find that on YouTube. I linked to that in my Twitter when I talked about this. If anyone wants to put that in the chat or somewhere, you should watch it. But there's some interesting things about this. One is that I don't imagine the kids in this movie wanted to see an old gangster film. Secondly, if this is an old gangster film, everyone says it gives it the release date of Angel's Dirty Faces as a joke, even though it's not. It's from the 90s. What's interesting to me is, like, I think because they say Uncle Frank is showing this to the kids, I think Uncle Frank is into this movie, tells Kevin he has to go away. I don't think the other kids are into this movie. I think because they never mention it. The only ones who mention it is Kevin, and we hear that Uncle Frank sent him away. And his mom's like, well, if Uncle Frank says it's bad, it must be really bad, blah, blah, blah. To me, I think Uncle Frank showed it to the kids because it's a movie he really likes, and they like Die Hard, Nightmare on Elm Street, and stuff. To me, I just don't think. I just don't believe that they're super into it. That's my own like fan theory, I guess. If you look at the movie from the short from when it is, if it was in the 30s, if it was 38, it wouldn't show violence like this. This is, if it is using, I'm sorry, this is me being a film dork. If it is what this movie, if it was 1938, it wouldn't show the violence like that because it was post the production code. Most likely this film would have been from 1933, and it's not really shot like that. It's not really shot like a film of its period. It's shot loosely like a Hollywood film, which it's not supposed to be a thing you really pick through. But in my mind, I'm like, I can tell it's not real now because I know more about the history of Hollywood. Because I'm like, you couldn't have a 1938 film shot in this way. It wouldn't exist. But this just wouldn't happen the way it is in this film, which is interesting. I kind of like how he does it in a way that it convinces you as a kid. I mean, that's what it's made to do. So I get it. I still like this shirt. It's a funny little thing. It kind of works even better than like the Warren Beatty, Dick Tracy in a way, because it's just like, let's just do this loose kind of fun thing as an exercise. It's actually a really, I see your Nijikichi, I'll get to you in 1 second. I'm sorry. It's an exercise. It's really creative, really neat. And I think Julio Macat does a really great job directing it. It's something that I always remember as a kid. I love how good Macaulay Culkin is with the fast forward and play thing. I would have definitely screwed that up, even to this day and even then. But it is just such an excellent example of like what a kid thinks a gangster film is, and that's really all it really needs to be. And in that way, it's almost perfect. Even if the cinephile older guy knows it's imperfect, but it really doesn't matter what I think. It just has to play into that fantasy. And Angels with Dirty Faces does that very well. I'm going to do a read through, but I want to get to Nijikichi real quick. Hold on. I need some water before I get to this. I'm not going to look. Thank you. Very generous, Nijikichi. And thank you all this year for giving such fun facts. I love it when Nijikichi shows up. Nijikichi says, in fun fact, in the Marvel 616 Marvel Comics, Santa Claus helped She-Hulk solve a murder case and then started flirting with her. Miss Claus found out and brought Santa back, then filed She-Hulk's office. Then filled She-Hulk's office with reindeer droppings. Merry Christmas, y'all. Excellent. Nijikichi, that was a good one. Cheers to you. Thank you so much. Alright, so now I'm going to do a Jim dramatic script reading of Angels with Filthy Souls from Home Alone. I hope you're ready. Knock, knock. Who is it? It's me, Snakes. I got the stuff. Leave it on the doorstep. Sorry. Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here. All right, Johnny. What about my money? What money? AC said you had some dough for me. That's a fact. How much do I owe you? AC said 10%. Too bad AC ain't in charge no more. What do you mean? He's upstairs taking a bath. He'll call you when he gets out. Hey, I tell you what. I'm gonna give you, pulls out machine gun. I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get you ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal. All right. Sorry, I just hi, Saber. You came at the right time? Okay. Oh, I had animated this. I love that ability. That is not the first time someone said that to me. All right. Maybe next year we'll do the next one. Make that a year. Movie crap out of context. Oh, please make that stream. Don't. But do. But don't. All right. Ooh, all right. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Let's go on to the next segment. Saber brought this up. Everyone asks that question. Everyone looks it up if it's real, which I think shows you how how well done they did. I think in it. I think because everyone asked that question. It's crazy. Um, Thoughts on Tim Allen's The Santa Claus? I think it holds up. It doesn't play as well for kids now. Well, Sophie isn't as into it, but we watched it like last year. I don't think we watched it. I didn't really concentrate, but I still like it. So, Jim, that was Home Alone 2? What do you mean? What? That wasn't Home Alone 2. Home Alone 2 is with a lady, not with snakes. I'm going to look this up because now you made me feel weird. Yeah, that's Home Alone from 1990. How dare you? All right, anyway. Let's move on. So, as you probably knew before, I've been kind of on this loose series. Every now and then I'll review a short from Jim Simon, who is a great African-American animator. With him and Want2 Productions, made a lot of good animated shorts for Sesame Street and the Electric Company. One of his most famous is I Can Remember, where the girl says a stick of butter, a cup of milk, and a loaf of bread, which I'm just sure. Okay, let me say that again. I had not seen Molly's Game by Kim Smith. I'm sorry. Was it a loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter? Sorry. A loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter. I gotta remember that when I go to the store later. But that was kind of the big famous short I Can Remember from basically his run. Is probably his most famous short he ever made. He actually made a sequel, which is what this is that I'm talking about today. Sorry, which is the short that I'm talking about today, which is Snow Day. It's the same little girl. The design looks pretty similar. It more looks different because there's a close-up towards the end and you think it looks different, and then I rewatched I Can Remember and went, oh no, it's actually the same. So but this first aired in 1972, apparently to various Wikipedias and so forth. It aired on November 22nd, 1972. They re-aired those things, and it was, keeping records of things from the early 1970s. So I'm just gonna say we'll take your word for it, I guess. But it is the same little girl from the thing. It's kind of a nice little slice of life thing, which I wish this character had been more shorts. And if there were more shorts with her, someone please tell me, because I really like this character. It's basically like she sees it snowing, she lets off everything she needs to put on to go out and play in the snow the next day. Her boots, her coat, her scarf so she doesn't get a sore throat, her gloves, and even her new sled. And she's all excited, and then she goes to bed, and then you see her wake up, put on all her things, go out in the snow falls on her, and she goes, oh, I forgot my sled. And that's it. And I really just like the little slice of life thing. It felt really great when my daughter Sophie and I watched it. She actually was like, well, I want to see her play in the snow. Like, that's it. And I like it for that, but I guess it is just kind of a very simple kind of thing. That memory of a good snow day, which now don't exist because of remote learning, which really stings. I guess this means the Snow Day movie is a thing of the past. Man, who would have thought Snow Day would be outdated of all movies? But sorry. I love that feeling of like, I remember being a kid and thinking about what I'm going to wear, what I'm going to do next day on that snow day. And this film just gets that feeling. Is it as memorable as I Can Remember? No. But it is a very worthy follow-up. I think it shows what works so well about that character, because it just makes you kind of fall in love with like the idea of a little kid just being excited for the possibility of the next day. And I think what Jim Simon and Want2 Productions were really good at with this character, and even like the I'm 7 Years Old short, which I've also reviewed, is showing like that excitement, that feeling of being a kid. And I think this captures that so well, especially with the snow day, which I just got to experience with my daughter. So I think it's like knowing that they're going to get to play out in the snow and how much fun that's going to be. And I think that really works, especially like an urban snow day, which I definitely just experienced. It has that whole feeling throughout it. And I think Snow Day captures it so perfectly. It's just sort of magical and reminds you of the magic, the fun, and how free you felt on a good snow day. Man, that hurts. They're not. I'm still mad. Anyway, about the snow day thing. I remember hearing somewhere that he was jealous of Jonathan Taylor. I've heard that too. Anyway, all right. So, third segment. Oh, we're gonna have a nice chunk of time for questions. Let me finish this up. Finish this one up. This is the last one. I'm sorry. I always try to do too much with these shows. If you do have a question and we're not doing questions now. Anyway, so the final thing, Scooby-Doo Haunted Holidays. I found this on HBO Max. I had never seen it before. It came out in 2012. It was actually released on a DVD, which was a kind of called Scooby-Doo Tales Holiday Chills and Thrills DVD. It's only a 20-minute special, and when I heard it was released on DVD, I was like, oh, that's a total ripoff. But the 13 Spooky Tales Hollywood Chills and Thrills DVD has 12 other cartoons, and this one, which they then aired as a special on Cartoon Network on December 4th, 2012. It's basically Scooby and the gang are helping out with the holiday parade. A huge blizzard hits. They run into a toy store and have to deal with no one basically in the toy store. No one's basically in the toy store except for the owner and his son and like a maintenance worker guy, and they have to like solve the mystery of this like evil snowman monster and what's going on. This was made. Victor Cook is the director who was one of the major directors on Spectacular Spider-Man and Mystery Incorporated. This comes out towards the end of the run of Mystery Incorporated. It is not Mystery Incorporated like. It is more, I would say, with this special, what I like about it is it's sort of a similar to Mystery Incorporated. It definitely has all those voices, but it has it appeals more to kids than Mystery Incorporated. That's kind of my issue with Mystery Incorporated now, is that Sophie can't get us into it as the other Scooby-Doo shows that are geared more towards kids. This feels less like Mystery Incorporated in terms, which I like. I think that's for more older kids, but this is like a good happy medium. The snow monster, though, is really frightening. Sometimes, like, each of the snowballs that make up a snowman become like faces with crazy faces on it. The snowman can shapeshift and do like kind of like basically be the creature from John Carpenter's The Thing constantly, which I know it was definitely referencing, which was incredibly scary. But it has like a whole like plot line with like a glockenspiel major clock and how that needs to get working. It's fairly kind of fun and intricate, but just a nice little holiday special. And Scooby and the gang, fight this monster, which is like way too crazy for what it is. It like makes no sense, but you kind of like go with it. I wasn't really gonna review this, or I had no plans to be honest with you, but I had some time in the morning and my daughter and I got to watch this together, and we snuggled up and watched this special, and that was really nice. And one of the things I like about Scooby-Doo is how you can watch it with little kids and remind how good of a cartoon it is, but get to share something with the younger generation. And I think this isn't the greatest holiday special in the world. I'm not going to act like it is a great Christmas special you're missing out on, but I will say I think it is a fun one to watch with the kids, and it's a decent one. If it's on HBO Max, at least when I shot this, I think it is a fun one to introduce kids to Scooby-Doo, but it's not one that you're gonna roll your eyes like, oh, this is more of a little kid's Scooby-Doo. It's a decent Scooby-Doo adventure. The monster is a little too scary for that, to be honest with you. It makes like no sense, all the shape-shifting, but it's like fun. It has a cool Santa Claus reveal by having a fake Santa Claus and a real Santa Claus kind of twist, and they have the same voice actor, and I thought that was very appropriate. This is a great holiday special. If you've never seen it, I do recommend it. It's just a nice little special they made, and I think it at the right time, because they have the right kind of directors to make it like a better kind of Scooby-Doo special. They have the right voice actors, everything like that. It's kind of at a creative peak that Scooby-Doo was on. Maybe this feels like an offshoot kind of annual special thing that you can just sort of forget about, but it's one that I think is highly enjoyable and a nice little side entry in Scooby-Doo. It's not a side entry that you'll be like, that was a waste of time. You're like, I had fun with that. It was, had enough detail to make it at least interesting, and I'll sort of remember it. But, it's just sort of a nice little holiday special where you watch the Scooby dance while you watch Mystery Incorporated solve a sort of strange holiday mystery that probably shouldn't be as appropriate for kids as it is, considering the John Carpenter's The Thing references. All right. Let's do questions. I have 2 Patreon questions tonight. So here we go. Ransam Film asks, what would be worse, Kevin Smith's last movie being Yoga Hosers or Jay and Silent Bob Reboot? I didn't see Yoga Hosers. I didn't really like the reboot, so I'm going to say Silent Bob Reboot, because I think Yoga Hosers, he had a nice summer with his daughter, and I think that's that would be a much better way to go out than like him and his dumb friends embarrassing themselves. Sinram asks, Tenet, which I've tweeted about this, but I would like to talk about more. Tenet is now available to watch at home. I only see 2 available options, buy the Blu-ray or buy the digital version. Neither option appeals to me. Assuming you plan to review it at some point, how will you see it? That puts me on the spot. I was able to get a copy. I don't agree with the let's buy a copy, a digital copy, let's spend all this money on it before you've even seen it kind of thing. I think that is like too far. I think there should be a rental option. And there isn't currently. It's not going to be till January 5th, I believe, which is, I think, like too long, especially for a movie that's as big a deal as Tenet is. Someone was able to give me a copy, so I will be able to watch it. I don't want to say more about that, but I think you will have to maybe, as everyone says, ride the high seas for that one, or you're going to have to wait till January if you want to help support Christopher Nolan, because I guess he needs it. Anyway, all right, so questions. Let's move this over here. Okay. Let's do questions. I think Cornbread, this is the first one. What are your New Year's resolutions? Follow-up question. Why isn't your answer to finally play Cuphead? Maybe it should. Maybe it should. I don't have any because I haven't even really thought about New Year's yet, so I don't know. Zane Powers, is Batman Returns a Christmas movie? I mean, I don't know. I don't like the is it a Christmas movie thing, but I guess so. I'm an Al Nick says, Jim, we did it. The Wild. It's getting season 2. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. We did it. The Wild is getting season 2. Okay, that's cool. Nathaniel Foga, what's the best thing you've eaten this year? Oh. Probably like, I don't know, my wife and I ordered from this fancy place, James, like probably something from there. Yeah, the shrimp pasta thing's pretty good. Or they have this like deep fried thing. I forget. Sorry. It's like, but something from there. Zane Powers, what is the philosophy of grandma got run over by the reindeer? That grandma shouldn't have been drinking. That's what I thought it was. Nathaniel Fogo, what's the best film you saw all year? Don't know yet. Don't know. Oh, we have a super chat from Medela Butterfly. Favorite media depiction of Krampus, Venture Brothers. Maybe that one. I do like the Krampus movie, but I'll just go with the Venture Brothers probably. Cheers to you, Medela Butterfly. Thank you for the super chat. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Ace the Wind Rider. Have you ever wanted something from a movie for a Christmas present? BB gun, sled, etc. Yeah, probably like the toys from E.T. I think that the Star Wars toys from E.T. I can say that for real. Zane Powers, can you do an impression of Josh Boone and what he thinks he's saying with New Mutants? Also, did you listen to the commentary? I did not. I sort of want to. I assume he sounds like, I'm Josh Boone. I'm so cool. I'm a big idiot. That's what I think. Frank Clark asked, favorite FX show? Legion is a personal favorite. I would actually probably say It's Always Sunny, but if we're going with the drama thing, maybe we've been watching the last season of Fargo. I sort of like that. Maybe What We Do in the Shadows. That was good. I don't have a strong opinion other than It's Always Sunny, I think. Not plausible. If aliens came to Earth, what movies and TV would you show them to represent the USA? Probably Wizard of Oz, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Star Wars, the first one, and Maybe Citizen Kane. Yeah, why not? Yeah, if we had time, The Godfather. I don't know. Jordan Salafalo, do you think New Mutants would be better as an animated movie or TV series? Who would you have directed it? Me. No. I think animated it would work better as an animated series. I always thought it would be a great animated series if they were a little more close to the comics. I think that would have worked. Directing wise, actually, I do have a good answer. The guy who directed Attack the Block and the kid who would be king, which is a review I should edit at some point. I think that would have been a good one. Why did Doug Walker want to conquer Kick-Ass? Yeah, I have no clue. That was such a stupid movie. For his own ego, I think that's why he does everything. Mark Perlow, did you ever get burned out or go through a period where you couldn't enjoy movies like you used to? No. I mean, sometimes I didn't see Doctor Sleep because I was just sick of Reboot. So if I know I am, I'll just switch to a movie I want to see if I feel like I'm sort of getting burned out on newer stuff. I never understand when critics and people make content are like, I had to do 40 of these. I'm always like, why don't you do one you want to do so you don't like hate your life or something? Like, I just think there's a balance. So if I get close, I always pick something. But I do know after Terminator Dark Fate, I couldn't do Doctor Sleep. So, and I still haven't seen it. I heard it's good though. Austin asks, thoughts, It's a Wonderful Life, and can you do a Jimmy Stewart impression? No, I can't. And I love It's a Wonderful Life. It's a great Christmas movie. I want to rewatch it this year at some point. Cornbread, favorite review you did this year? Joanna Man's up there. My favorite video is Shadow of the Demon Bear. Absolutely. I don't know. I was actually maybe the first stream of the year. I was going to go through what my favorite videos I made this past year. 12 ounce mouse. That I did 12 ounce mouse. I'm really happy with those. I'm going to go with that. 12 ounce mouse. Thank you for asking that, Cornbread. Sorry, Sleepy Time 4Cat Productions. Which was worse, New Mutants or Generation X pilot from the 90s? I think I said that in the review, that it was New Mutants. Nathaniel Foga, best January film that isn't Monster Trucks. I was about to say Monster Trucks. Best January film. Probably The Kid Who Would Be King. I need to edit that. This is making me really think. I have it shot, actually. I saw it in theaters. Zane Powers, thoughts on the reports that HBO Max will both cost Warner Brothers over $1 billion and how it opens the floodgates for piracy? I think it definitely will. All the streaming services are easy to pirate, so I was confused why Hollywood Reporter posted that article, because it's like, duh, of course they will. It definitely will. There's no way around it. Thoughts on Jim Carrey's The Grinch? I did a review of that, Black, so you should check it out. I forget what I said, but whatever I said is what I thought. Does that make sense? I hope so. Not plausible. What is one celebrity impression you can do really well? None. I don't think I'm good. I can do myself, sort of, but not really that well. No, I'm not a celebrity. Sorry, that was dumb. I know I can't do any. Gilberto Benitez, I think. Question or opinion? I know I like these two movies together as one, but in your opinion, who is better, Weathering with You or Wolfwalkers? Wolfwalkers. I think Wolfwalkers is a stronger movie. I did see both. Question, not knowing who he was, what did you think of Trump in Home Alone 2 when you first saw it? I didn't realize he was anyone until much later. I just thought he was a guy. I didn't know who he was. He made no impression on me at all, which is basically his personality. So I guess that's a diss. I don't know. Ernest Dahl, some good books on film criticism. Anything by Pauline Kael, but anything that's just like a gross summary, I would say is good. I feel like I shouldn't just say that. Kenneth Turan, I know some people don't. Kermode's got some good books. Yeah. Let's say those. Sorry. I'm not a big Saris fan, but if you want to do that, you can do that too. Question, have scalpers ever ruined anything for you? Scalpers? I don't think so. But do you mean spoilers? I don't think so. Usually I can get into it. The Luke thing I saw people posting, even though I sort of guessed that he would show up at one point. But I guess it was sort of ruined. But anyway. Evil Ira, how's it going? Have you ever seen/heard of Final Space? The trailer for the third season dropped yesterday, and the creator, Olin Rogers, says this is his favorite one yet. I have not, so I didn't really talk about it. I know people sort of like it. Maybe I should check it out. Bloxy Oxenwinkle, best commercial, Jim. I guess, what's the one? There's No Judgment. I went that for a little bit. I haven't been to a gym in a while. Because I'm so cool, I guess. So how underrated was 2020? I have no thoughts. It wasn't at all. It was, how underrated was Quibi? That's the real question. Akim Smith, what are your thoughts about Red Sparrow? Never saw it, so I have no thoughts. Austin, but this is a reminder to put New Mutants on your worst 2020 list and not forget, like, New Mutants. I mean, I guess you mean Dark Phoenix. I think it'll get on there. Don't you worry. What's your favorite holiday drink or food from Savior Sparks? Probably whiskey. Also, my wife makes maple rolls, so I guess that would be on there. Not plausible. Why did Santa run over Grandma, and should Grandma sue the pants off of Santa? Yes, she should. Santa's got deep pockets. How will we survive without you serving us our weekly dose of movie news? I won't be gone for that long, even if I do the January one. So don't worry, you'll still get other videos, and I do have a Twitter. You can follow me on there. Question from Black Sackwinkle. Do you have any YouTube videos you watch around the holidays? Oh, that's a good question. Probably Quentin reviews, to be honest with you. I didn't talk about the Snyder Cut thing. I realized I went over that. Oh, wow. You think the Snyder Cut will save HBO Max? Well, it's going to be R. I realize now I forgot to talk about that. No, I don't think it will. It's supposed to come out in March, apparently, I keep hearing. Anyway, I'm sorry I forgot about that. How will big movies on streaming services know what to change if a lot of people watch it, but it gets panned by critics, since most people will likely watch all of Spider-Man, even if it sucks? Wait, how will big movies on streaming services know what to change if a lot of people watch it, but it gets... Oh, I have no clue. I'm confused by that. I'm sorry. Not plausible. Is Star Wars Holiday Special going to unseat Die Hard as the best Christmas movie? Sure. Maybe. Should there be a Pizza Party Snyder Cut? Absolutely. Nathaniel Fogo, do you think New Mutants ever had a chance to meet your expectations? It could have. I was open to it. It just didn't work. Zane Powers, quick thoughts. Okay, we'll close this out. Quick thoughts on the F-bomb in the Snyder Cut. I think it's sort of ridiculous and silly that he's trying to... Well, cheers to you, Zane Powers. That they think that makes it a good movie. And I did like someone change it, so it sounds like instead of "Do you bleed," it says "bleeped out," so it looks like Batman. It's like "Do you F-word Superman?" I think it's just really immature, and like, do we really need to do like an R-rated one? It just seems like the people who would want a R-rated Snyder Cut, or who would want a Snyder Cut, would be excited by that. But to me, it's like, of course it is. Of course you think that's interesting. Just like, to me, like, I don't get this thing about R-rated, movies, like superhero stuff, because it's like I think that's appealing. Like, there's too many times like nerd stuff appeals to older audiences, and it should appeal to everyone, and they're all audience things. And when you're doing that, you're dissuading the people, like the all audienceness of it, which I actually think is cool, but whatever. All right, I think that is everything. If I didn't get your question, is there anyone who didn't get their question answered? Cornbread asked, do you think Sebastian Stan should have played that one character in the last episode of Mandalorian instead of the CGI they ended up doing? No, I'm fine with what they did. I'm fine with that. But, all right. So, that is it for tonight. Thank you all for being here. I think it was a good show. I will be back maybe, let's say, January 2nd, tentatively. If not, whatever the one is after that. Emmett Otter's coming out tomorrow. Check that out. Thank you all for watching and subscribing. We have at least made it through this much of 2020. Let's hope we get through the rest of 2020 and be hopeful. I really thank you all very much for checking out the stream and being as generous and as nice as you guys have all been throughout this whole year. I really appreciate it, for checking out all my content, for watching everything, for being as nice as you have in the comments and being as supportive as you have. I think I can just say personally, I really appreciate being able to do this with you guys every Saturday night. It really means the world to me, especially this year. I've come to, I did not appreciate it before, but I think I appreciate it even more because of I always had this like avenue to talk about movie stuff with you guys. It's been great. Content wise, I've made a lot of cool stuff with Saver. I've made a lot of cool stuff with Spicegate. I made a lot of cool stuff on my own channel. I got to be on a lot of cool podcasts. It was a really great year for content, and I'm just happy that you guys got to check it out, and and I'm happy I got to finally make my New Mutants essay. I'm very proud of that. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching everything. Thank you for just being cool and being here and everything. Thank you for everyone who gave a super chat, everyone who watched, everyone who liked. It's all appreciated. Thank you so much. But yeah, I think that's it for 2020 for streaming. I'm excited to do this show in 2021. I will see you then. Good luck to you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. All that good stuff. Take care of yourself. And I will see you again next time. And subscribe if you would like to. Have a good night.